The PayPal Mafia. How Elon Musk was fired from his own company. Imagine this. You build a company from scratch. You pour $12 million of your own money into it. You merge with a competitor. You become the CEO. And then you're sitting on a plane, flying to Australia for your honeymoon, your first vacation in years, and you get an email. Not a congratulations. A vote of no confidence. While you were in the air, your own board of directors voted to fire you. This is not a Hollywood thriller. This is the real story of Elon Musk. September 2000. The company is X.com, the future PayPal. And the people who fired him would later become known as the PayPal Mafia, the most influential group of entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley history. December 1998. Palo Alto, California. Max Levchin, a Ukrainian-American engineer, a cryptography specialist, meets Peter Thiel, a Stanford law graduate and venture capitalist with libertarian views. Together with Luke Nosek, they found Confinity. Their idea sounds futuristic even today. Secure money transfers between Palm Pilot handheld computers through an infrared port. Beaming, they called it. But the Palm Pilot market was too small. So the team makes a critical pivot. They shift money transfers not between devices, but between people through email. The product is named PayPal. Launch, late 1999. The simplicity is genius. You enter the recipient's email and the amount, and the money is sent. No bank details, no checks. In parallel, in March 1999, 28-year-old Elon Musk, who had just sold Zip2 for $307 million and pocketed $22 million, founds X.com. His visionary idea, an online bank that would combine checking, savings, investments, insurance, and mortgages in one place. If money is digital, why does moving it cost anything? Musk reasoned. X.com raises $100 million in venture funding, a record sum for that time. Investors believe in Musk. But there's a problem. Confinity with their PayPal is already on the market, and a real war breaks out between the companies. Both companies burn millions on marketing, trying to pull users from each other. PayPal dominates on eBay. Auctions become the main growth driver. X.com also offers email transfers, but the PayPal brand is already capturing the niche. By early 2000, investors on both sides realize either they merge or they bankrupt each other in a mutual war. On March 30th, 2000, X.com and Confinity announce a merger. The deal is valued at roughly $500 million. The format, a 50-50 stock swap. Max Levchin would later call it a merger of equals and add, "This is something I would never recommend to anyone." Why? Because 50-50 means no single leader. Each side believes their decisions are right. Elon Musk becomes CEO of the merged company. But the war has only just begun. The conflict erupts along three lines. First, brand. Musk insists on the name X.com. He believes that X is the symbol of a universal financial platform, the Everything app. But focus groups show a devastating result. Users associate X.com with pornography, while they perceive PayPal as a reliable payment service. Musk ignores the data. Second, technology. Musk wants to rewrite the entire infrastructure from Unix to Windows NT and a Microsoft stack. His argument: there are smarter programmers in the gaming industry, and Microsoft has huge libraries. The Confinity team, all on Unix, is horrified. Max Levchin is convinced that Unix is safer and more reliable. The arguments become personal. Third, strategy. Musk dreams of a full-fledged online bank with loans and investments. Thiel, Levchin, and the Confinity team want to focus exclusively on payments, where the eBay business is growing. Summer 2000. Tension reaches its limit. Musk, exhausted and overloaded, finally plans a honeymoon with his wife Justine. They married in January, but the vacation kept getting postponed because of work. In September, they fly to Australia, combining fundraising with attending the Olympic Games in Sydney. But the conspiracy is already ripe. According to biographer Walter Isaacson, described in his book Elon Musk, the conspirators gather at Fannie and Alexander Bar in Palo Alto. Among the participants, Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, board member Reid Hoffman, and product director David Sachs. They decide Thiel must be brought back as CEO. While Musk is on a plane over the Pacific Ocean, the conspirators send letters of no confidence to the board of directors. Investor Michael Moritz from Sequoia Capital calls an emergency meeting. The board votes. Musk is fired. Thiel is the new CEO. Musk begins to suspect something is wrong, receiving unusually harsh pushback from the team via email. He cuts the honeymoon short, boards the next flight back to California. But it's too late. The board has already made its decision. Later, Musk himself commented on this event. He said, "I was the CEO, and Peter reported to me, so he couldn't fire me. It was a palace coup by a majority, but not all, of the executive team and a majority of the board of directors, who felt that my decisions were too risky. I was the largest shareholder in the company. Nobody could take my shares away from me." Musk retained his position as chairman of the board and remained the largest shareholder. But operational control was lost. In a 2007 interview with Inc. magazine, he admitted, "I was pretty pissed. I had thoughts of murder going through my head. But in the end, I realized it was for the best. Otherwise, I'd still be grinding at PayPal. Although, if I had stayed, PayPal would have become a trillion-dollar company." By the way, during that period, Musk nearly died. Not from political intrigue, but from malaria he contracted in South Africa. According to Thiel, the company had a $100 million life insurance policy on Musk. Thiel later joked to the biographer, "If he had died, all our financial problems would have been solved. We're glad he survived." Peter Thiel, becoming CEO, immediately changes course. The company abandons its online bank ambitions and focuses exclusively on payments. The X.com brand goes into history. In 2001, the company officially renames itself to PayPal Inc. This turns out to be the right decision. By the end of 2000, PayPal has 10 million accounts and $5 million in monthly revenue, mostly from eBay transactions. The team solves fraud problems, developing algorithms that would become the prototype for future cybersecurity systems. On February 15, 2002, PayPal goes public with an IPO on NASDAQ. The offering price is $13 per share. The company sells 5.4 million shares, raising $70 million. On the first day of trading, the stock soars 54.5%, closing at $20. Market capitalization, roughly $800 million. But the real explosion happens 5 months later. On July 8, 2002, eBay announces the acquisition of PayPal for $1.5 billion. The deal is entirely stock-based, 0.39 eBay shares for each PayPal share. Official closing, October 3, 2002. Why eBay? Because by that point, PayPal was processing 50% of all payments on eBay auctions. It was a natural, almost inevitable integration. This is where the story gets truly interesting. The sale gave liquidity to all key players. Elon Musk, as the largest shareholder, walked away with roughly $165 to $250 million. Peter Thiel, with his 3.7% stake, got $55 million. But the main thing is not the money. The main thing is the people. The term PayPal Mafia was coined by Fortune magazine in 2007. The cover featured a now famous photograph: Thiel, Levchin, Hoffman, and others dressed in 1930s gangster suits, sitting at a restaurant table like a scene from The Godfather. Here is just a fraction of what grew out of this group. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, The Boring Company, the purchase of Twitter, and the return of the X brand. Peter Thiel, Palantir Technologies, Founders Fund, investments in Facebook, Airbnb, Spotify. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn, sold to Microsoft for $26.2 billion. Max Levchin, a credit startup, IPO in 2021. David Sachs, Yammer, sold to Microsoft for $1.2 billion. Kreft Ventures, Relof Bota, partner at Sequoia Capital, key investor. Jeremy Stoppelman, Yelp. Chad Hurley, Steve Chun, Jod Karim. YouTube, sold to Google for $1.65 billion. The combined market capitalization of companies founded or financed by members of the Mafia runs into the trillions of dollars. So what do we see? Elon Musk was fired from the company he created. His visionary idea of the Everything app, X, was rejected as too early, too big, too risky. But look at the irony. 23 years later, in 2023, Musk buys back the X.com domain from PayPal and renames Twitter to X, fulfilling the very dream for which he was considered a madman in 2000. His opponents who fired him didn't lose either. They built PayPal, a company that changed online payments, and then each built their own empire. And the biggest paradox of all, if the palace coup had never happened, if Musk had stayed as CEO and pulled PayPal toward online banking, there might never have been a Tesla or a SpaceX. Musk would still be grinding at PayPal, as he himself said. Thiel wouldn't have founded Palantir. Hoffman wouldn't have created LinkedIn. YouTube might not exist in the form we know it. Sometimes the most painful defeat is the mask for the biggest win.